Hello, ladies and gentlemen. TrueEvil64 here, and today we are going to talk about 2014, Grand Theft Auto Online 2014 Remembered. I'm going to do this for an entire history of GTA, maybe up until like 2018, and then because we're not going to cover like the modern day because everyone knows. But 2014 GTA, oh boy, this was when GTA Online started to take off. We got updates pretty much every month, starting from February 2014, which was the Valentine's Day Massacre special. And then the last update that we got in 2014 was the Christmas special, and it was this very same update, Christmas 2014, that added in the homing launcher and the proximity mines. So, let's discuss the beginning of 2014, shall we? So, January 2014, I remember this very well. January 2014, GTA Online was actually unplayable for a couple of weeks. You want to know why? Because the game was actually shut down by Rockstar in order to clear up people's modded money that people got unwantingly from, bounties and stuff. People were setting bounties worth billions and millions on people, and people were getting millions and billions of dollars that maybe they wanted, maybe they did not. Which is why on a lot of old school players, you'll see that their cash earned stats is very, very high. Mine is not. My cash earned stat is actually perfectly normal on Social Club anyway, because in-game it does glitch because my overall income is worth more than 2 billion, I think it is. When you reach a certain amount of overall income in the game, your stats glitch out in-game, but on Social Club it's perfectly normal. So the very first update of 2014, and this was when I joined my very first major crew, Valentine's Massacre Special. This was the same update that brought in the Gusenberg Sweeper, I think it's called, and it also added in the Roosevelt, 1920s mafia mobster car. 2014 February was the same time, round about the late that month, early March, late February, is when I joined my very first major crew. A couple of months later, in that crew, I got made into a commissioner, and it was the very first crew that I served as crew leader in, well, a crew commissioner anyway. March 2014 was when the business update was added in. The business update added in the most used assault rifle in the game, the Special Carbine. April 2014 added in the High Life update, which was when we actually got the ability to own 2 safe houses. Yeah, we could actually own 2 safe houses when this update came out. It also added in the Zentorno supercar, which became the new #1 griefing vehicle because it was cheaper than the Entity XF by a little bit, and it was also faster. Its stats were better, its acceleration was better. The next update after that, May 2014, was the same update that added in my beautiful pink flower dress that I'm wearing right now. Yep, 2014, I've been wearing this dress ever since then. Minus the mask, of course, because the mask came out with heists in early 2015, but we'll discuss 2015 next week. The hipster update was also the same update that brought the Rhino tank down to its current level. The Rhino tank was severely nerfed when the hipster update came out. April 2014 and onwards as well was also a very good time to learn how to fly jets, because there was a glitch in the game where you wouldn't pay any insurance for blowing up people's personal vehicles. And before that, a little bit before that, like around January, February to March 2014, there was actually a glitch where if someone else destroyed your personal vehicle, you would pay the insurance for it. So if you went around destroying people's cars, you wouldn't pay anything. It would be the owner of that car that would actually pay for their own destroyed vehicles. If this was in the modern day, like imagine destroying an Oppressor Mark II, for example. You pay nothing, you don't get any bad sport points, and the owner of that vehicle has to pay the 10,000 insurance cost. This shit was real. This shit actually did happen back in 2014. Round about later, 2014, around about August, September time, we got the flight school update, which added in the much forgotten about flight school. Later that same year, around about October, September time, we got the last team standing update, which added in the Spamsman rifle. It was at this time that I decided to represent my Goddesses of War crew, which I was also a commissioner in, so I became commissioner in 2 crews in the same year. I was in Goddesses of War for about 4 years as a commissioner, but in the next year, 2015, that's when I switched to PS4, and that was when I started to look for an active PS4 crew, which is the very same crew that I'm now currently leader of. You know, you all know it. But we're not going to talk about 2015 now. The last team standing update, this added in the Spamsman rifle and the bulletproof helmet. So you get, I guess you could say this was like the birth of the modern day tryhard. Like this is when sniper dancing became much more of a thing. But the PS4 version of GTA Online wasn't actually out yet. No. The PS4 version of GTA Online came out around about November 2014. And I remember the PS4 version of GTA coming out, and I was like, wow, is that really like the difference between PS4 and PS3? But update-wise, the PS4 and the PS3 were actually still sharing the same content. So the only major differences at the time between the PS4 and the PS3 version was a smoother gameplay experience and higher resolution. That was pretty much it. Both generation of consoles were still receiving the same updates at this time. And then to wrap off the year 2014, we had the Festive Surprise 2014 update, which added in the homing launcher and the proximity mines, which I like to plant outside Los Santos Customs, and I've been doing it ever since. Let's discuss myself a little bit more in 2014. I've already mentioned that I became commissioner in 2 crews this time, but it wasn't all flowers and wine. Around about late 2014, I took a break from those crews, and I actually had my own crew at the time. My first major crew, I got into some trouble in. There was somebody in the crew that didn't like me being a commissioner, so I just decided to leave before any drama would stir up. And my second crew, Goddesses of War, was high on drama at the time. So I created my own crew, which I called the Goddesses of... I can't remember the name. I think it was like the Goddesses of Murder or something. I can't remember the name exactly. But this was more to be like an escape from the crew drama, so we could all play together. And I got about 100 members at the time. It was my own crew, but it didn't last very long. It only lasted a couple of months before we all went back to the main crew anyway. So the crew leader wasn't mad at me or anything. The crew leader at the time I actually got on pretty well with, and they were fine with me starting a crew with a similar name, with similar members, just to give people like a temporary break from all the huff that was going on at the time. So myself in 2014, this was also when I started playing a lot more aggressively. 2013, I wasn't really in public sessions that much to escape like modders and cash drop bounties and all that stuff. Modders were still pretty prevalent in 2014 up until the end of PS3. But back then, I mostly played in invite-only sessions anyway. It was actually very, very rare that you would catch me in a public session back then. But the only time I really wanted to play public sessions was when somebody in the crew requested like help to like battle someone or something, which is something I still do to this day. Somebody would type on the crew wall saying, "Hey, I need help fighting this person," and I'd be like, "Hey, get King of Kills to join." That was my PSN name at the time. He'll help you. But for the most part, I was mostly just grinding my way up towards rank 1000. Towards the end of 2014, I managed to get to around about 940 in rank. I reached rank 1000 in February 2015. And that was pretty much it, really. 2014 was when I started to learn how to fly jets. It was when I started to learn how to fly helicopters to kill people with. And this was when I actually started to become the player killer that you know me as today. This was when I started running around attacking people for no reason. Don't forget there was no businesses or cargo or anything back then. So if you attacked somebody, you know, it was just pretty much just free mode battles. But back then I also used to stick up for lower level players that would get bullied. If I'd see like a rank 20, rank 30 or something being bullied by someone higher rank with a Rhino tank, I'd go over and help that person, and they'd often thank me most of the time. I got a lot of friend requests back then, and I actually did used to play with a lot of randoms back then, because I used to host a lot of rooftop rumbles for them to help them gain money, because that was how I spent the majority of my time in 2014. It was very, very rare that I was actually in public sessions because of modders. Wall glitches were also pretty prevalent. There was a crap ton of wall glitches in the game back then. Rhino tanks pretty much ruled every single session. It was time to learn how to fly the P996 laser. To this day, I'm still not very good at dogfighting with the laser, but you know, I've never actually had any real dogfighting experience. All my dogfighting experience just comes from fighting people randomly in free mode, but it seems like most people in free mode just don't know how to dogfight because they always shoot the explosive cannons on you at the approach, on the merge, I guess you could say. It's actually very, very rare, even then to now, that I've actually had like an actual proper jet fight against other players in GTA Online free mode. So that was GTA Online 2014 Remembered, just a brief overview. This was the year that I became crew leader, and GTA Online was shut down for a short time. This was when I started to join my active crews that I got made commissioner in twice. And this is when GTA Online started to grow and flourish as a game, and it was also the launch of the PlayStation 4 and the Xbox One edition. Next week, we're going to cover GTA Online 2015 Remembered, so look forward to that. Until then, I'll catch you all next time. Take care, everyone.